Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, we really do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community, we will talk about it. But hey, we talk politics. Politics is everything. Everything is politics. And it comes down to the decisions that you make when it comes to an election and elections. And hey, you see the city and the mess and the poor leadership that we have. I'm gonna have to tell you something, and you know this, but we are, as it relates to the black community, politically, socially, mentally, we are our own worst enemy. Now you think about it. Think about our community. Think about the neglect in our community. Think about the people that we elect that's selling you out every day. And whose fault is it? Is it the politician's fault or is it the fault of the people who put them in office? From City Hall, Paul Young to Lee Harris for 8 years in the county mayor's office, to the county commissioners that you elect. Whose fault is it? To the city council that you elect. Whose fault is it, ladies and gentlemen? Let's come to the realization and realize that a lot of things that is happening to us in our community is our own fault. And therefore, we have to take the responsibility for the things that we do. We sit out here and put this information out to you, the disrespect of the individual that you elected to the school board, they play politics with you. Finally got someone that was there that was going to cut back on the lack of leadership in leadership position, Dr. Marie Fagan. And the people that you put in office that was supposed to be doing the right thing, as one knucklehead say all the time, it's all about the children. It's definitely not about the children when it comes to her. It's not about the children when it comes to that board. Because those six individuals who decided to get rid of Dr. Fagan, it definitely was not about the children. It's about the bad decisions that the people we put in office make. We are still number one most violent city in America. The crime is truly going down since we got the task force here to assist in fighting the crime. You notice something? This is all this snow out here on the ground. All this God has a way of having cutting down on the crime because I hadn't heard of too many crimes being committed over the last few days because they can't move around. They can't go here and there. Ain't no carjacking that I've heard of. Have you? By the way, if you want to talk, I'm not going to be here long. But I tested the software just before I came on, and it's don't know what see me functioning, is functioning and doing their job. If you can hear me, just tap OK, and I'm pretty sure you do hear me because I don't see anything on this board that don't allow me to do what I do. Everything seems to be functioning. But let me get back to what I want to talk about. I don't know if the school board met on yesterday to do whatever they was going to do in regard to uh, Roderick Richmond, whether they gave him a contract. You know, our politicians are good about doing things uh, behind your back. I don't know if they had a remote meeting uh, or did they just cancel the meeting altogether. But I still say it's wrong to give him a contract or to make him permanent superintendent when you got a election coming up. I think who's ever on the board need to make that decision, not this board that we got now, because you know this board is about favoritism, picking people behind closed doors. And I still say to you that Roderick Richmond knew that they was about to get rid of Dr. Fagan, in my opinion, because he easily walked up to the pole with his head pole placed with his head up at the podium and accepted the recommendation of that board. That let me know that he was a backstabber. He backstabbed the superintendent in the back. And all these clowns that decided to do that, you can't tell me that they did not come together and make that decision. We need to clean up our act in this community. This is the opportunity for you to do that. But just look at it all across when it comes to the violence in our city, in our community that I am a part of, the community that you are a part of. It's our fault because we are electing the wrong people to do supposedly the right thing. They're not going to do it because it's more about, as I often say, politics. It's about position. It's about money, a paycheck. And some of them is probably more than likely living off of the paycheck that they get here. The only job they got. So to me, it's a job, it's a living because they didn't have anything else to fall back on. So they decided they would go into politics. They went into politics and now they think they're somebody. Always remember a title or position don't make you who you're supposed to be, and that is a decent human being. See, if you're not decent before you get in a position, you won't be decent when you get a position because a position do not make a man or a woman. Common sense dictates your actions and your reaction. Common sense will tell you what you're about to do is wrong. Common sense will tell you that this is the right thing to do. But we have a lot of elected officials, ladies and gentlemen, that do not have that main ingredient that's supposed to be instilled in you, and that is common sense. Some of us have it, but we don't want to use it. Some of us can rob, steal, tear people down as it relates to individuals who know and you know can do a job than the good old boy situation. And I've said to you, and I continue to say, the Jim Crow mentality in our community is alive and well. When you attack your people, when they're qualified to do the job, but then you attack them because of personal reasons. And you know who are qualified to do the job because you can look and see where we are now as a city. Because we had, as I call it, unqualified individuals to lead this city. And we are in that position now. Our leadership is being bought and paid for. Our leadership is not qualified to do the job. Our leadership walk away going or knowing that the city is in a deficit to the tune of $77.7 million. Is that a qualified person that's supposed to have the sense to manage this city? Is that a qualified person who, after 8 years, can walk away knowing that there's a deficit and do not make the people aware of it? Just walk away. Said that we're going to fight crime, and crime was higher than it ever been before. No conscience do these people have, especially in my community. Some have sense, but most of them don't. They just sit there year after year in those chairs and never do anything that benefits you in our community. We are, when it comes to the black community, are our own worst enemy, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm talking to the black community. You got to start electing people that's going to do better than the previous one. Now, to me personally, a lot of people say, oh man, you're saying get rid of all of them. Yeah, I say get rid of all of them. So if you get rid of all of them, if you don't get rid of, I mean, if you get rid of the majority of them, you send a message to those who want to get into politics that if I don't do the right thing, I won't be here long. And that's the most powerful message we can send to any candidate or any elected official that sit on the bench, sit in the chairs on the city council, the county commission, or in the state house. Excuse me. If we sent those messages, we sent them that message to them, then they would understand now I can't come up here now and just play politics. I can't sit in the chair and look like I'm important because if I do the wrong thing and the people realize it, then I'm out of here. And that's the message that we have to send to the people that we put in office. Tell them point blank, if you go up here and you make bad decisions, we'll see you at the ballot box. Now watch what's going to happen. They're going to come to your churches. They're going to swear, they're going to lie, and making promises they know in the beginning they're not going to keep because they're not controlling anything. It's the money that controls this city. They want to continue to get those contributions that they get to run, to hoodwink you, to fool you in doing what they want you to do. And then once they get in there, this is the catcher. Once they get in there, they don't give a you know hoo-ha about you. They don't care nothing about you. Because if they did, your communities in the black community would look better than it is. They are showing you by way of your community what they think of you. Potholes. Oh, that's their job. As a council member representing you in this city, it's their job to make sure that you have the best when it comes to your neighborhood and the streets. That's their job. They can find money to buy a hotel. They can hide money or steal money to the tune that you have in a deficit of $77.7 million. You know how many holes you could have filled with that money? But what is the money? I say to you, without a doubt, in my opinion, that $77.7 million went into somebody's pocket. Now, if you do a forensic audit, I would never take over any position when I go in there and there is a deficit, and that I would not see to or find out where the money went. The comptroller that's over the city ought to know where the money went. Because if he can't tell you where the $77.7 million went, and he's the comptroller, then he's not doing his job. Or wonder did he or she get any of the money? Whoever sat in that position to be quiet, to hush money. Ladies and gentlemen, just think for a minute. Just think for a minute. I got my thinker. He's down here at the bottom here. I need to put him back up here because I got him up here for a reason. And this reason is for the politicians and for people just to think for a minute as to what's happening in our community. We got missing money, not only as it relates to the past administration, but the administration before them. Whoever ran a deficit, if you took from Peter to pay Paul, if you took from Peter to do this, and you used the money to do something else, and didn't use the money to do what you're supposed to, why did you not use the money for the purpose? Because in the budget, you got to outline to the council exactly what you're going to do. And they give you the money to do what you said you're going to do. But then again, you take from Peter and do something else. And then you come back and say, well, we got a deficit because we had to take this money to put it over here. Well, see, over here should be over there and left alone. And you should take care of them, the place that you got the money for. You should have took care of that. But then they say, hey, let's shuffle the cards. Let's tell them we had to do this. But in the process of it, hey, let's take a little bit of it. If you really did a forensic audit, not only that, I was thinking when I said to you that the elected officials, once they're elected, ought to be drug tested. I believe that. Not only that, secondly, I believe that their bank accounts ought to be looked into. Detail where the money coming from. Now I understand you got your job, you got your money, uh, and then you got the city council money that you're getting. I think a detail or looked into when it comes to the bank account. If you got cash money, you can hide that. But if you got a paycheck on your job and the city council, see, a good question is this, and they said this, and I was looking at it online from the sources where they said this: Steve Cohen is worth about $7 to $10 million. Now, when he went in there, he wasn't a millionaire 20 some years ago. How did he become a millionaire in this period of time? They're gonna say, "Oh, well, he made investment." Okay, what investment you made, and what stocks did you buy to be worth between $7 to $10 million? Y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know that these things go on as it relates to information, behind the scene dealing. We got all of that going on from Memphis all the way to Washington, D.C. All of these things are happening, and it's our fault. We are and probably still will be forever our own worst enemy. We allow people to come in and hoodwink and infiltrate our community, come into our community, set up stores and businesses, but leave nothing in our community. We just open our billfolds and pocketbooks and just give it to them. You walk through your neighborhood and ask the question or look around and see how many black businesses are really in your neighborhood. You have a chicken joint here, you may have a rib joint here, but what the businesses do we have in our community that's really black owned? And I'm not being hard to say that, but it is what it is. They come and take from you and your community and leave nothing back in the community. I remember growing up in the Douglas community, there was black-owned businesses from cleaners to uh, convenience stores uh, to many other businesses. There was a market man who came around with his cart with fruits and vegetables. And that was what they called a rag man, where the family had old rags. He would collect them. He was his own entrepreneur in the community. We wanted for nothing as it relates to businesses in our community. But we allow these things to happen in our community and we don't do anything about it. You know, you come into the community and leave here and go to Germantown or Arlington and sit back and live like a fat rat on a hunk of cheese and leave nothing to your community. Who does that? Really, who does that? We do. We allow, ladies and gentlemen, people to take advantage of us in our community. Now people do that. They got the business there that don't look like you and I, and we go running up there buying their loose cigarettes and everything else they got to sell. We go get the beers and we just drop the money off and make them richer than rich. But whose fault is it? It's yours. If you go back and check the history of how black communities used to thrive before they destroyed the community in Tulsa, Rosewood, all of those boys, those black individual entrepreneurs were thriving. But they were thriving too well until they had to destroy those communities. Now they were destroying it from the outside. But now we are destroying our own community from the inside. And I thank you, Brother Patterson, James Patterson, classmate Douglas, for letting me know we are back on the air. As I look at all of this and everything seemed to be functioning, I got to call my IT guy, and he probably listening, and let him know it's functioning right now. Brother Norman Redwing, give me a call, man. I want to talk to you. Call me right now, 901-288-5779, 901-288-5779. You can give me a call, 901-288-5779. You can call me and let's talk, because we hadn't talked in a while. Brother James Patterson, you can give me a call and tell me what you think. Tamika, give me a call. I mean, it's time for us to start talking. I know you all enjoy the show. I enjoy doing the show. It really upsets me when I come in for some reason, it didn't function yesterday, and then now when I come out here, My IT guy hadn't come in, and I said, "Well, let me just test this and see." And lo and behold, boom, it's up and working. But I still want him to come and make sure everything is good to go. But as of right now, everything going. Dr. Redwing, call me because you always have an opinion when it comes to our community. What is your opinion? Are we our own worst enemy? Brother Patterson, are we our own worst enemies? Sister Tamika, are we our own worst enemy? Do we make bad decisions in our leadership that we put into office? Are they doing the right thing by us or are they selling us out? I say to you that the things that are being voted on in this community is not to benefit us. It's setting us back. And I often say this and I'll continue to say this. You can tell what kind of representative you have by the condition of your community. Think about it. Every other community is thriving. Every negative thing when it comes to business, they put it in the black community. Wake up, wake up, wake up, ladies and gentlemen. It's time out for the foolishness. It's time for us to be aware and understand that we are being sold out. Our politicians are being bought out through contributions. They got to get them. They got to get the money to run against us. Come on now, talk to me. 901-288-5779. Give me a call. And I'm looking at, okay, the number is 901-288-5779. 901-288-5779. Just want to know what you all think. I'm looking at what you're saying, and I see what Norman Redwing, he wanted the number, but our politicians liars and broke promises cause black people to become blind. Okay? I believe that. I believe that we no matter how you look at it. All right. All right, caller, you on the air. How you doing? Dr. Bernard, how you doing? I'm doing good there, Brother Red Wing. How you doing, man? Man, I'm black but Doc, we got to address this thing. And I know back in the day, I know you went silent for a while. I went silent for a while. But as we look at it, Norman, and we think about where we are now, we think about our community. I want you to address it in your opinion. Why do you think that we are the most violent city in America, according to statistics? And we haven't fallen out of the position because every now and then I go back and check and see who's the number one most violent city. And they say Memphis. And I always say that it comes down to the poor leadership. What do you say? Well, Doc, I think you've answered the question already. You're absolutely right. It comes down to poverty. It comes down to everybody get rich but us. In fact, I just said something to your podcast. I said a whole list of things that answers the question. It asks the question, but it gives some specifics about where we are right now. And the question that I asked on there is: are politician lies and broken promises causing black people to become permanently blind? Mm-hmm. Politicians' lies and broken promises causing black people to become permanently blind. And I take that out there for your listeners to read it and for you to read it and see. It answers the question we're talking about, man. We're being played in ways you won't believe. We have always known we're being played. Mm-hmm. But we're being played now, and it's strategically planned and organized. And
Janice, if you read what I put on there, you will discover that how we're being used is in a very powerful and strategic way. I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you an example of what I wrote.
Okay.
On there, I'll remind our people that, especially during election time, you're going to hear pastors, politicians, and others who are going to be in parks. They're going to have giveaways. They're going to have all kinds of music, dance, and a bunch of mess. They're doing a lot of things that we don't need. And many of them get the money from white folk and others. We know that.
Oh yeah.
But Doc, we're getting a lot of attention to getting things that we can get where we can begin to continue to vote for them. They're giving out food baskets. They're giving out all kinds of things in the community, having dances and parties and all kinds of stuff in the community. They're having these community meetings and talking about nothing real quick. And when they get in the meetings, these are the only meetings I go to where black folk always want to talk about Jesus and black power. But if you go to the white folk meetings and they're there, you're going to hear them talk about contracts and millions. They're not talking about Jesus and black power. They're not talking about Kwanzaa or anything else. They're talking about big money in those meetings.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to school board meetings, county commission meetings, city council meetings, all they talk about in those meetings is contracts, big money. They give us 1 to 3 minutes to say what we think and feel, and they don't respond to any of it at all. So it's a setup. And all these wonderful things we got this past summer and all that, Doc, it was only to get us prepared for what's about to happen now, the elections. And like I think it's you or either Thaddeus both used to say, we need something more than a Chevy and a cat, a Ford and a cat we need something more than Ford. We need a Cadillac. Something like that. You guys just saying we keep putting the same people in over and over and over again, and we're just being played, man. We're being played. And you look at our community, even though some of our communities have changed, but who got the contracts to make it change, Dennis? Look at Uptown and look at New Chicago. Look at some of these other places. Well, few things have been done, but Doc, the question is, who got the contracts? Who's making the money? Look at this thing they just finished at Old Northtown High School, right across the street where I'm located.
Mm-hmm.
Doc, tell me how many black people out of that $87 million project, how many black contracts did we have? All the time they've been working at this, my business is right across the street. My church and business is right across the street, right in front of it, right on the corner. And I have yet to see one black worker the whole project. I've been going through there almost weekly, and there's nothing but Hispanics and white people doing the work. I didn't see not one black face in this $87 million project. And when they do the work up and down the street, beautifying the streets and changing the streets, Jennings, I promise you, up and down the street, all I saw was Mexicans and white folks. None of our people doing the work. Jennings, something's terribly wrong with this picture.
Oh no, no
And
doubt.
now they want to put a jail. Now they want to put a jail. We've been fighting out here to keep the jail out. We finally got there, but now they're ready to put it back on the agenda now. And we knew that was going to happen. We said that something was going to happen. It's not over yet. Even though we're singing and clapping about we won a victory, we won a victory. We won a battle. The war's not over yet.
I would agree.
Because they're going to put that jail in there no matter what we say or do. I promise you. Just mark my word.
You think they were really gonna put that jail over there with the old
And don't, if they don't put that there, I promise you, I owe you. I'm going to pay your mortgage.
well,
I'm
look,
going to pay your damn mortgage.
well, let me say this to you, Mother Redman. When we look at facilities like that, and you look at out there by the pillow phone, you got all of that space out there. You
And
got
it's paid for, Jim.
yeah, and it's out
Paid for.
it's out there where you got the penal form, you got the state penitentiary out there. Why not take that land and put it out there where all the prisons are?
Well, Jim, that's what we said when we went to the county, when we went to protest in the community meetings. We asked that same question. Why would you take 72 acres over here in New Chicago, and when you have and pay for that when we already have 102 acres out near the pill farm that's already paid for? Help make that sense.
But you know what I think? When you go out there and you go to Chevy Farm and the nice little, You see the buffalo roaming and the tracks out there. The power that be don't want to add another jail in that area because that's a safe haven for them. And they don't want and they want to be able to walk around the park, the water and the track and just have a good time. But yet you want to take, and this is what I say, everything from the AI, the supercomputers, everything that's negative, and you were aware of what happened over in North Memphis years ago when they buried all those chemicals out there, and people
Yes,
was
sir.
they was dying, and women was having
Same thing
miscarriages.
with Douglas.
Yeah.
They gonna tell the truth about that stuff is still out there in Douglas.
Oh man, listen,
It's
you
still there.
remember when Douglas used to have all the stock, the slaughterhouses out there,
All
all of them out there in black community. And
Yes, sir.
you couldn't hardly come outdoors and sit on your porch. You can tell when they was killing the animals over there, the hogs, and
Yes, sir.
you
Yes,
could
sir.
tell
I
it because
remember it very clearly.
man, you could because I lived out there, and we used to go back in the house to get away from the stench. But I'm saying that everything that is negative in our black leadership do not fight for us because to me, and I say it in my opinion, they are being bought off. When
Well,
you
here's answer this question.
okay,
You know that a clinic right there on Guthrie Clinic. And I'm 65 years old. The Guthrie Clinic was there when I was a baby. And my mama used to drag all 10 of us down to Guthrie Clinic or the Greenlaw health centers.
mm-hmm.
Those clinics were there in our community and they served us well. They closed Guthrie Clinic last year. Help me understand why they're closing every damn thing we need in our community and want to open up that which we don't need.
Well, they want to do it because it's beneficial. Understand, in my opinion, everything that they take from us, they take it from us to benefit them. Cause somehow they foresaw that we're gonna have businesses come down here. We're gonna put a this AI supercomputer over in the hard communities. Now keep this in mind. Down in Mississippi in South Haven, they built a data center in that Mississippi area data center. But they take and build a supercomputer with 30 turbines
Yes.
that's going to be in the black community. Why do they put that? Why do they do that?
Well,
No,
they ain't really put it in no white community.
no,
What are you saying?
you know exactly what I'm saying. And I wonder.
I tell you what, Jenny, I'll ask this question.
Okay.
Let's begin to ask this question. How many will go along with them building a jail out there by BMP Baptist Church?
No.
How many of them will build a jail and talk about building, even over there in Winchester, where
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
But actually, they wouldn't even want a jail over there. But I guarantee you they're not going to put one out there. But I'll tell you what, there's land over there by Hope Presbyterian. Actually, we'll go out there and do that. Let's see what they say.
Well, you got to look at how and I say this all the time. Our politicians are being involved. All of that. When you take an individual like Paul Young, give him, as last reported, 1.5 million to get into the city council seat. He is going out and buying a hotel, and I don't know if you're aware of it. The Carlisle Group is going to run the hotel.
I'm very much aware.
Okay,
Yes, they want to have it in a few years, I promise you.
Yeah, they'll have it in a few years. It's in the contract. I put the contract word by word on my timeline that said.
I'm going to go back and look at that. But I already know that, man. We're paying, what is it, $250 million? We're paying all of that money for making sure that we make sure that their lives and their children and grandchildren's lives will be all right. That's what we're doing.
And I've always said, now when we spend the money, it's going to be turned over to the Carlisle Group. And if you look at Carlisle Group, that group, they do a deal with mutual fund. Now somebody said to him, Paul Young, we need you to go and purchase that hotel. Okay, not one time did he come to the community to say, hey, I'm running, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy a hotel. Well, you buying a hotel with our tax dollars or bonds or however, we still are going to be the one to pay for it, but then we don't benefit from it. We turn
Well,
it
Doc,
over.
I've been big, and I said I'm not gonna ask him more. Since the day he went in office, man, we supported him. We worked for him free, and I really love the guy, man. I love his family. I think he's done. I think he's a wonderful guy. Before he was, before he ever ran for mayor, he was over the Department of Housing Development, and he helped us, man. He really helped us a lot. But we asked him to help him and a few others to help us fund the school. I'm right there in the corner of Montgomery and Volatile.
Mm-hmm.
And we built a little out of a house we made what's called the African Village.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a good Samaritan church. And I've been begging them to help me get enough money to fund our school for 3 years. We asked him for I think a grant for $250,000. And we met with him. We went to laid the contract out, laid everything out for him. All he had to do was say, "Yeah, I'm gonna raise the money." And I'll call, I'll send texts, I'll send emails, I'll call and ask, "Are you gonna help us? Will you help us?" And to this day, I haven't gotten nothing yet, man. And I'll tell you, it's just very disappointing when I look out and I see all these other programs and projects being funded, and then we keep asking for that kind of funding to help black children. And do you hear me? I'm not asking for no money for myself. I don't even get paid to do it. I'm talking about to help educate black children who are having a difficult time reading on the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade level. Just help us help ourselves. Don't get we ain't asking we ain't begging for nothing. We asking you to help us help ourselves. And then what bothers me, Jimmy, is when I see this and all this money, we get the nickels and dimes and the crumbs,
Mm-hmm.
and they hold us accountable for every little thing. And you this ain't done, that ain't done, then they cancel. We can't get it. But Doc, I'm telling you, when they give those $100,000, $1 million contracts out, they don't take them people through all that, man. And then what bothers me so much is when black politicians, Jimmy, when black politicians especially, know what they're doing, know that this is not only going to affect us, but it's going to affect our children and our grandchildren, our communities, and for myths of politics, they will sell us out and go ahead and do it anyway, knowing that it's going to the pocket of wealthy people, wealthy white folk, and we know that. And it's going in their pockets, and we just keep us down more and more now. Well, our buildings look like we've had more black power, we've had more black politicians than we've ever had in the history of Memphis in the last 25 years, and we're still moving at a horse above it's very damn well, look, I'm gonna say you all down with the last time. Well, I'm just saying. I gotta be honest, man. I really like Paul Young. I think he's a wonderful guy, man. He has done some great work. He walked in on a big mess. I know he did. But when I see the contracts and where the money's going now, it makes me wonder, brother. Come on, man. We're not asking for much. Well, let me. About what we're doing. We will show these things. What we're doing, how we surround stuff. We will support what we talk about money. But let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. Man. You got to understand this. The reason why it haven't happened on that, you got to understand that that is a puppet master holding our political. They can't do anything on their own. They got to get the approval of the puppet master. From Paul Young, you're sitting here talking about something that affects the black community, but he didn't do anything about it. But he went and bought a hotel. He was told about it. Paul Young ain't thought about buying no hotel. It's a puppet master. It's the power that be. I hate to even think that way about it, man. 'Cause, like I said, he has done a lot of good work. That he he wasn't bragging about it, talking about it. I know the things he's done. It's just that I see a change now, and it concerns me.
Yeah.
It really, really concerns me.
And you know what?
It just saddens me at the same time.
Well, you know, I got it from a reliable source that there was a meeting held and they raised $250,000 for the 2028 election coming up when they run again. Already $250,000 in one night. You don't tell me.
I'm running the school board.
Oh, okay. Go ahead on. Tell us about this. What you running for, girl? You know, I want to bring you in. I'm gonna bring you in and sit down in the studio and we'll talk. But go and tell the people I've been knowing you.
I'm running the school board District 2, man, in Natalie McKinley seat. And because I really want to see some change. I want to really, really, really give all that I can to make some changes. Change some of these policies and create some new ones. Because our children's gender is in trouble, man.
Oh, yeah.
You got to see what I see every day when I volunteer going to these schools. You got to see it. I can't tell you. You got to see it. You won't believe it when I tell you. You got to see it with your own eyes to see how devastating it is with our children. Many of our children are concerned. And I said fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, there are 11th and 12th graders struggling on reading too, Dennis. And most of the kids in some of the schools, man, are on their cell phones all through the day in classrooms and everything else. They're not studying, they're not reading, and when they take tests, they're looking at their phones to get the answers. So that means nobody's reading, nobody's preparing, there's no homework, there's no real accountability where they're concerned. And the teachers are so burned out, they're frustrated, and they don't even argue with them anymore. It's just unbelievable. You got to see it, then you can know this.
Well, let me ask you this. You're running for the school board. Your opinion on those individuals who voted Dr. Fagan out and put Roger Richmond in. Give me your opinion on those school board members. And what do you think the people need to do when it comes down to them getting rid of Dr. Fagan?
Well, at first I was totally against it. I was at those meetings. I went to every last one of those meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at them for the decision they made to get rid of her. Let me just put that out there. I was at first.
Okay.
But I've learned some other things that makes a little bit more sense to me. What I'm angry about is the way they handled it, the way that it was done, how they were so disrespectful to her, and the way in which they handled it, and the public came out there and acted a plumb damn fool at the same time. It made us all look bad. And the state was watching all of this. But I think some of those people on there, man, I really think they mean well. I'm not talking about Tawana, what's her name, Murphy. I'm not talking about her and several others on there. I'm talking there are a few of them on there, on that five department. There's a couple of them that really mean well, and I believe that with all my heart. So I'm not going to judge them based on that. I'm going to judge them based on what they have not done and what they've allowed to go on in those meetings, especially where contracts and money things are concerned. We put more emphasis on giving money out to contracts and other people and less money put into the lives of children. That's my issue. That's my concern. The schools are falling apart and we give a contract out to people who ain't doing work a damn.
Well, my opinion of that, when I look at individuals, they were seeing up school. She was looking at contracts. She was threatened by people who have been getting contracts that affect our children, but our children still can't read or write. And when you start doing that, she started hitting the pulse of what was wrong with the school system. And I blame those.
And then start wiping them out.
Well, wiping them out. And if you go back to the we're going to talk about this just for a second. What do you think about this forensic audit? And what would you like to see from this forensic audit? I laid out what I would like to see. I'd like to see where the money went, who got the money, and things like that. What do you want to see in that forensic audit?
I would want to see the same thing, Jeff. I want to see that. I want to know who got the contracts, why, and I want to know if anybody was given contributions as a result of it. And under the table, I want to know all of that. But not only with the school board, I want to know that with the city county commission too.
Exactly.
Who the hell put money in their pockets? Who's bagging them? Where's the money coming? Who's bagging them? And why are people out of town sending more money, bagging up more politicians with money, and and they're not even in the city. I need somebody to help me answer those questions. I want to know where that's coming from.
Well, Doc,
Yeah, I want to know. I want them to do do all of those checks and balances to see where is the money really going and why. And why is everything 3 times what it would normally cost? Because it's coming from us. It's coming from the city and not primarily the city, not the damn county, because we're paying more than the city than anybody. But why is everything 3 times cost? It's because people get these contracts and making more money than what's worth. And I want to know why. I want to see the contracts and understand why. Then I want to know, another one thing I want to know is how many minorities, when I say minorities, I'm talking about black women, black businesses. I want to know how many of those contracts have we got and why haven't we got more?
well, you know,
What is the scale? How is it measured? What is the scale? I want to know all of that.
well, we'll see what's going to happen. I hope that they come out with something in regards to that. One other question, we're getting ready to wrap it up. And I thank you for calling in, and I know the listeners enjoyed you calling. Definitely, I uh, know you and how Norman, you have been in this community for all the years. People like you and myself and others who really want to see the progress within the community, they are getting overlooked. But we find these people that they know that go along to get along. They're glad to be in the position. They want to be called councilwoman, councilman. They want to be called a commissioner. That means nothing to the
Doctor
people.
this, doctor that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It means nothing when people are suffering in our community. And I said over and over, and you said it also, that you look at our community, potholes everywhere. Look like people have dropped bombs. But you get on Poplar. Start from 201 Poplar. Go all the way out to Germantown. And I used to do it when I go downtown. I would ride down and make videos. And boy, it would be as smooth as a baby's behind from
Yes, sir.
201
Yes,
Poplar.
sir.
But why
Yes,
is it
sir.
that you go to Chelsea, where I grew up over in that area, Hollywood? You go over in South Memphis, in that
Man,
area.
Hollywood and Hyde Park look like a damn war zone.
It do. It does. It
Ooh,
does.
man, it looks horrible. And now Hollywood looks like a war zone.
Well,
But
no,
Jazz, I want to say this to you, man. We've known each other for many, many years, and I have to compliment you and say to you, man, you have been doing this work for much longer than I have, and you have always, always been genuine, passionate, and concerned about our people, and you have never swayed from that. Not one time have I ever heard you sway from that and offer to do anything else. I think I was listening to one of your shows, somebody mentioned, or somewhere I heard somebody saying that you had won the election. There's Warren Murphy.
yeah,
But it doesn't matter.
no.
It doesn't matter. If I never win one, it doesn't matter. The fact that you have done the work and you've been committed and you have put all and I know you put your own money in it. You pay for your own radio show. You do all of that. You've been doing it for years, man. And I admire you for what you do. I promise you I do.
Well, Norman,
I promise you I do.
I thank you for that. But you know what I often say? When it comes to men like you and myself, we are too strong for the powers that be to control us. But we find a Paul Young, we find other individuals, and we put money in their place, and they hook-wink us, they bamboozle us, and run amok over us with the money that's been given to the powers that be. Now, that was a purpose in that 1.5 or more. There's a purpose in that 250,000 that they already raised in one night for him in the next election. That's a good old boy that they got. And I have to just say, and again, before I let you go, there were some people that said that the Klansmen was good people. Yeah.
Hey, Doc, I think Trump said it was both good people on both sides.
Both sides. That's what he said. That's what he said. Well, no, but it's always.
Do you still do the part when you said when the creek go right?
Oh yeah, I have to do it, man. That was Big Mama, and she tell me that, boy. She would always say that. But I got one that I want you to notice too. I got. And before I sign off, I always say, trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. And if you do that, you'll make it. Cause I look at people, And if you look and they got that spirit of discernment, you can see when they're talking where their mind's at.
Yeah.
When they come to you and say, "Hey man, I think I don't need you to think for me.
That's right.
Okay, I can think for myself. I think we ought to." Well, that's something in there because you coming to me trying to convince me to believe in what you're thinking, and I'm looking behind you. Where do you get the information from?
That's right.
And I go to ask them questions that make them uncomfortable. I've been that way all my life. The things that you've said I've done for years. But I often say, I can never lose the election. The people of this community lost the election.
That's right.
And,
That's
and,
right.
and I always say this, I'm too strong for the powers that be in this community. I'm too strong for them. Hey, Norm, I always appreciate you, man. And listen, you got to get in here, and we want to need to talk about some more things in here. I've always enjoyed you. Now, I used to love, man. You know, I come up in there when you used to have them dinners, man. You had some cooks up in there, Doc. Over there on Poplar. I
Yes,
came,
sir. Yes, sir.
man. I thought,
You gotta come by and visit my spot over here on Valentine, man. Come
okay.
on by and see me. We'll talk out there later on.
Well, you
Come
remember?
on by. And again, I'll put something on your Facebook. I want you to see. I'm gonna text it to you.
Okay.
Can I text it on your number also?
Yes, yes. Do that on my number.
Yeah, and I want to put the information out, man. I want to get people calling in because you always have a great show, man. So I'm gonna share with everybody I know. Right,
man. I appreciate it. And you remember something I used to say when I came in your kitchen and other folks I used to have, what was my big mama at? You remember that? I said, cause my grandmother got to be up in here cooking because them women,
Yes, sir.
them women
We
could
sure
talk.
had some big mamas, boy.
Well, we had a lot of them up in there, Doc. And I appreciate what you're doing. For the people that don't know who Norman Red Wing is, he's been an activist for years out there battling. We have had some battles together that we
Yes,
stood
sir.
firm as it relates to things that need to be done. Norman,
Yes,
I'm 73 years old, and I'm not gonna
man,
stop.
there you go. You're
Listen,
looking good, dog.
look, I'm not gonna stop until he tell me it's time to stop.
There you go. There you go, doc.
All right, you take care of yourself, man.
You too, my friend. God bless you.
It's the same to you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
But that was Norman Red Wing, community activist. He's running for school board in District 2. Ladies and gentlemen, he's got the heart and he has the will to do for the people. He's been doing it for years. He's fed many people when they couldn't feed themselves. And I've gone by there several times. And then, I mean, he had some cooks up in there and they was really cooking. I got to get by his place. I know he had moved from on Poplar, but he says he's over in uh, Klondike now. I got to get over there and see him. Ladies and gentlemen, I really do enjoy talking to you and Brother Red Wing and to all of the others who made comments. We appreciate you. But my producer had just walked in here and gave me the sign that your time is up. And she always do that. Come to the door. And sometimes I do 30 and 40 minutes, but I'm doing 1 hour now. And as a politician come in, we may do a little bit more. But she give me that cutoff, and I thank her for it. But anyway, I thank you. And remember to subscribe to this program. Tell the truth and shame the devil. You can catch us on Spotify at MemphisRealTalk.com. You can catch us also on YouTube at MemphisRealTalk.com, as well as on X. These programs are there, and you can go to that website at MemphisRealTalk.com. That's our website, and see what is going on. If you missed the program, hey, you can get it. I thank you all. I appreciate you. I really do. In the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on tomorrow. But remember what I said. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. God bless. Take care.